Hey there, this is Pat Roque, the Rockstar Transformation Coach, wanting to welcome everyone on board today. Thank you so much for joining me. I have a great crowd in the room. I see Patty and Sophia, Justin, Trisha. Can you just do me a favor and give me a shout out in the chat over here so I can say hi, hello? Can everyone hear me okay? We are on our How to Rock Your Next Event with LinkedIn. This is a very special course. You can hear me perfectly. Cool, Justin. Thank you very much. So this is actually part 2 of our program. Last week, we did a How to Rock Your Profile on LinkedIn, and it talked all about your profile makeover. So I'm going to go backtrack just a little bit to give you some tips. But more importantly, today is about showing you how to actually take it up to the next level, how to really rock your networking and your connections. That means how to have a killer experience, attracting who you want and having really solid next best moves going to your next event. So we're going to rock your connections, the art of leveraging your next event. If anybody has a question, you can post them up on the screen. Let's see here. I'm on mobile, so you can't see. Okay, so I guess you can't see the chat on mobile. Sorry about that, but it will be available in the replay. We are going to go on in. We're going to go in. We're going to do a little bit on our deck, and then we're going to open it up. I'm going to let you guys jump in on the screen. So I'm going to share my screen. Share that. I'm going to minimize myself. And do me a favor in the chat, just let me know, can you see the screen okay? That should be working perfectly for you guys right now. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. So we're going to rock your connections, the art of leveraging LinkedIn and special events. So why, Pat? Why do I rock? Well, I am a speaker, a coach, and an author, and I have literally been in business since 1988. They call me the Rockstar Transformation Coach because I help people go from rock bottom to rock star and to really, I guess you'd say, channel your inner rock star. So helping you figure out what makes you special, who you really deserve to be working with, and how to make the most of a career you'll absolutely love. So this is just one more important piece of the puzzle. We're here to help you become a global industry thought leader. It's funny, I've used LinkedIn to grow my circle of friends, grow my circle of clients. I've actually become a leader in the golf industry, golf for business part. I'm not a professional golfer, but you can see here I've hung with Michelle Wee. I've done professional tours with Tiger Woods and Bubba Watson. So again, one piece of my fun puzzle of my life, and all global industry thought leader from being LinkedIn. It's also helped me score some amazing speaking gigs. So whether it be speaking at universities, whether it be on podcasts, live events, or corporate private events, these have all been some amazing fun opportunities that have happened through LinkedIn. Oops, we're not trying to go there. Hold on. Bear with me. So do me a favor on the chat right here. Can you give me a sense of, are any of you looking to accelerate your career? What are you looking for with LinkedIn and networking? Are you looking for a new job? Are you looking for clients? Are you looking to grow your presence as a speaker? Can you give me a hint as to what's important to you, please? I'll be more than happy to make sure we address those questions. Meantime, LinkedIn is an absolutely amazing place to become an expert or a media magnet or all of the above. Justin says he's looking to grow his client base. Yeah, you know what? That's a very, very common challenge or common goal, and it's a great place to do it. So we can definitely help you here. So why do I love LinkedIn so much? Well, it's absolutely the most awesome place to fish where the fish are. It's not the only place I do business, but it's an absolutely phenomenal place to do business if you are in the business-to-business space. And when I say business-to-business, I mean we still deal with people as people, but we are absolutely looking at them in terms of their corporation, in their not-for-profit, in their organizational structure. So I do a lot on Facebook and other social media, and that's more on a one-to-one individual, and it tends to reach people a little more on the lifestyle side of what they do. But the LinkedIn is about corporate. And it's funny because I put this goldfish picture, and all I was thinking of is I really want to capture a shark. A little bit of background. There's 450 million users on LinkedIn. A quarter of those are in the US. It's growing in leaps and bounds. It's a little more male, definitely skews toward the wealthier side. People are making well over $75,000 a year. They are highly educated. It's a great demographic mix of African American, Hispanic, white, the whole mix of everyone. So it's a nice representation. But the one thing that's important to know for Justin and everyone else, 6 out of 10 people have not worked in large companies. So you're getting this really nice, flavorful mix of big corporate, Fortune 100, Fortune 500, all the way down to entrepreneurs, executives, coaches, people who are rocking it, whether they work with a nonprofit, an association, or literally all of the above. So what is the recipe for success? Well, last week we talked about a couple of things, and we want to make sure that when you're telling your story, you want to make sure that your profile, and again, the cheat sheet will be available with the checklist, but we want to have it reflect you and your style. We want to have your page fully searchable with keywords. We want to make sure you have a killer professional photo. Your page and your summary need to have a great call to action, but it needs to really shine on you. And the other half is it needs to reflect you, but it needs to also tell your prospective client or customer what's in it for me. So if you have any particular customers, are you trying to find people in associations? Are you looking for people in companies? You can tell me a little bit about who you're trying to attract when you grow, and we can help you get there. So LinkedIn is definitely not, repeat, not, in my opinion, an online resume. Just the opposite. It's actually a client-facing storefront. The way you present yourself and the way you tell your story is critical to how people perceive you. This is not meant to be that strict, sterile, boring, line by line, wah, wah, wah. Here's my factual, who I am, where I've been story. It's really about embracing your audience. I want you to help them understand 2 things. How can you help me make more money? So the audience, your prospective customer, has to look at your page and your profile and think, okay, Sophia, how are you going to help me make more money, and how exactly can I buy from you? This secret sauce is going to be important because we're talking about events, and we want to be able to queue up some success patterns. I'm going to show you the exact formula, exactly what I do to rock my events before, during, and after. There is a secret sauce, and I'm going to pull back the curtain and share with you exactly what the wizard does to make the media things, the industry expertise, and how to actually prepare for an event, go to an event, and follow up and kick butt. So again, before, during, and after. Did everybody see the download? I had put a link at the top here. It's actually on the top of the webinar page, I believe, to help you download this cheat sheet. So please, by all means, download the cheat sheet if you have not yet, and you can download it afterward if you have, because all of this will be in there. I want you to be able to follow along. We talked about updating your LinkedIn profile. And for those of you who bought the $97 LinkedIn Makeover Magic package, you will have access to not only today's webinar and all the cheat sheets, but last week's webinar about the LinkedIn makeover for your profile, as well as the checklist of exactly what you're supposed to do. So that's available, but we're going to assume you're updating your profile. I want to make sure that everything you have, all of your tools match. And yes, your business cards and your brochures absolutely should have your LinkedIn profile, your LinkedIn custom vanity name, and how to find you on there, because you absolutely want to follow up. In fact, while you're at events, you want to make sure you ask people about it. Does everybody have their LinkedIn profile on their business card and on their brochure? Tell me in the side chat if you do. You can just say yes, or you're going to, or let me know if you have questions. So we can go in and tag prospects and updates. Let's see. You can add notes, and we can join groups associated. I'm thinking what I might do is I might cut out of here right now real quick. And I think I'm going to just jump right in here to LinkedIn. So we're talking about, here's a profile. So here's my profile, for example. Right? So Justin says no, but he's due for a new batch. So I went through some of this last week, but bear with me. Can you guys see my screen? You can see my LinkedIn profile right now? I think you should be able to. So when we edited the profile last week, right here, this is my LinkedIn vanity URL. So I want to make sure that this is what's actually listed on my business cards. When I am looking at someone, and I'm going to go to my friend Patty Harrison's page, for example. So here's Patty. She's on the call with us today, and thank you for joining. So we're going to talk about, she's got a nice professional photo. Her face is well lit. She's shining brightly. I know she added pink in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is great. So her skills pop up, things she wants me to endorse, which I will. She did a great job here. She's got her custom URL. So Patty's going to want to have her LinkedIn custom URL right here on her cards, as do I. And then we're able to go in. There is contact information. So she's got her email and her phone number, which is ideal. But when you go down here into relationship, I can actually write notes and say, remember to send Patty the cheat sheet, let's just say. So I can go ahead and put notes on here, and they'll actually be tagged. I can put a reminder, if I would like to, that says meet for coffee in a week. So that'll come up as a reminder, and I can actually tag. So here's what I did, and you're going to make your own list here. I have a lot of tags. These are also tags that go into my database, in case you're wondering. So you can add a new tag, and I have tags added by sometimes where I know people from or whatever I want. I can put whatever I want. You make your own tag here, and then you can manage tags if you want to update them or delete them. So when you go in, you can actually look at your relationship with people, and you can tag them so you know what part of your life where you met them. So if you met them through LinkedIn, which I've met a lot of people, if you've met them through a certain chamber, you can mark it that way. So again, definitely use this. So Patty's a client, etc., etc. So we can go ahead and tag with whatever we want. So when we're trying to follow up after or before, you have that available. If you're doing a blog or an update, you can absolutely use the @ sign and tag their name. The other thing is when you're looking at events. So here's an example. I was a speaker at this event. It was called IT Connects. So before the event ever happened, I was able to go and look in and find out that they had an event group on LinkedIn. So I joined IT Connect group. The other thing I did, look how cool this is. They set this page up. So there was a button for each of the people. So I'm able to now go in. Harry's the gentleman that invited me. So I went in and I connected with Harry. And now I'm able to give him a recommendation or send an endorsement. But they did a nice job the way they set up the speaker. And you should do this when you're setting up your events. They put the LinkedIn contacts for all their key speakers right here on the pages. So you're able to go in and connect with folks, which is awesome. So that was really cool. A lot of these people, so mine's not here because I'm already me and I'm already connected to a lot of them. So you can go in and do that. What I highly recommend is to go in and not just look at the attendees, but there's 3 key groups. I would totally suggest you should be looking at the organizers of an event, the keynote speakers at an event, as well as workshop leaders and or attendees. So not all speakers, not all events show every single one, but for example, here's the sponsor. So we can go in. I would go in and do my homework and make sure that if I wanted to meet someone from Rowan, like Rowan University was my school, I do a lot of volunteering. I'm on the board of their entrepreneur program. I go back and I do mentoring and I judge the business competition. So I went in advance, clicked here, I went to the workshop, and I actually found who was going to be at the event from Rowan, did my LinkedIn connection, and then was able to go meet them and follow up. Does that make sense? So you can actually do your homework, find out the people at the event, the speaker, the sponsors, and often meeting attendees, and schedule appointments. I actually schedule appointments, and I use a pre-event questionnaire so that I ask questions and know what people, where they're going to be or how I can connect with them. The other things I would absolutely suggest that you do, I would like to see you make sure that you add the LinkedIn mobile app to your, this is the checklist. I want to make sure you add the LinkedIn mobile app to your phone so that you have it. And here's another really, really cool ninja tip. I want to make sure, check in advance and see if they have Wi-Fi or mobile access. And here's why. When I'm a speaker, what I often do is I have the folks in my room do Facebook Live and broadcast Facebook Live during my events. And if I'm not a speaker and if I'm just a guest, I will check with them, but I will often then broadcast Facebook Live for the people as a courtesy, as my little thank you to give them publicity, because my Facebook Live is connected through a program called Live Leap, and I can get you the link for it, but it's called Live Leap. And that is the ability to broadcast. If I'm on Facebook Live, it'll show up on my Business Boomers page, my Rock on Success page, my personal page, my group. It'll even notify all my LinkedIn audience, and it'll notify my Twitter account list and my email list. It'll say Pat Roque is about to go live, and it'll notify everybody. So absolutely see if you have Wi-Fi or mobile access, or bring a hotspot if you know what a hotspot is. So that's kind of a portable Wi-Fi access, so you're not dependent on the folks at the location. Does this make sense? Does anybody have questions so far? Are you good with me for your pre-event homework? Oh, and don't forget, set alerts so you don't miss important sessions. So literally schedule appointments with people, set those in your calendar even during the event, and set alerts so you don't get stuck talking to people that you're not interested in, or you talk too long and then forget to go meet someone you're supposed to be meeting with. Here's a question. Is anybody wondering what are the best times to post for LinkedIn? Because if you're about to write a blog or you're putting some updates, when are the best times to post? This one's really, really important, folks. So LinkedIn is for business people, right? So basically, HubSpot recommends, and all the major experts, oh, Sophia just found the chat box on mobile. That's awesome. So the best times to post on LinkedIn: in the morning before the business day starts, at lunchtime, and then right after. Well, for some of us, it's not after work. It's actually at the end of the day. It's between 5 and 6 p.m., usually midweek. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays just before the start of the day, lunchtime, or after. And they also mentioned, interestingly enough, 10 to 11 o'clock on Tuesdays. So that's been proven over and over and over again. And I'm going to give you another ninja tip. When I am looking to make appointments with people, and I use LinkedIn to do the electronic side of it, and I'm old-fashioned. I love talking to people on the phone. I absolutely recommend make your phone calls during these times as well, because you have a much better chance of skipping past the gatekeeper at these times, especially earlier morning before people get in, or at the end of the day once the admin or secretary, if there is such a thing, once they're gone. So try that trick. Has anybody else tried that trick? You find that it's successful? Because I know that that has been an absolute gold mine. When I do my Rock Your Strategic Selling, that is a gold mine, home run, cha-ching, cha-ching tip. Here's a little bit of what to do during events. I always recommend, if you can, when you have LinkedIn as your mobile app, go ahead and ask people to link in with you while you are physically standing there talking with them. Link in then. It's cool. Or if you use Evernote as an example, some people use Evernote. Evernote, you can scan the business card. It automatically, you scan the business card and there's a setting that actually incorporates and notifies them on LinkedIn and sends them your contact information. So ask people, do you mind if we link in? Right there on site, so you don't feel spammy. It's why you're all there. Take and upload photos. Go ahead, use your phone. You know, I don't even bother with, I have this beautiful camera. I don't even bother anymore because my iPhone takes such amazing pictures that literally I am shooting thousands of pictures that are loaded in my phone, and it's a great way to follow up with people and share. They love when you do that. So I'll post pictures of them, take pictures during and post. I will tweet in the middle of it. I'll share as images and updates, and I'll use it to write a blog after. So we're going to talk about that too. Again, I mentioned about Facebook Live, interviewing folks with their permission. Here is a ninja networking tip. This really is cool. I have now taken the habit of, during live events, especially at my Chamber of Commerce, I make sure I have permission, but I literally will stand outside in the foyer before, during, or after events. It's too noisy in the room often, but I take my Facebook Live and I will interview people. So if I'm at a workshop and the person who's speaking does really well, I will stand outside the room and I will get testimonial videos from folks as they're leaving. I have a new client, a fitness center in my town, and we did their pre-grand opening event, and we took the class. And I literally stood outside, started the interview, and then had people come up. They connected with me on LinkedIn. They did also connect on Facebook, and they allowed me to interview them live. So we got raw, fresh, candid testimonial of people authentically sharing, saying why this was great. So how would you feel if you had an event and people were out there sharing and telling authentically why you're great? Because then, next ninja tip, you can take those testimonials from the Facebook Live and you can place them on your LinkedIn, right in your summary. You can also go back and ask people, do you mind if we turn around and I would like to use that recommendation on my LinkedIn? Would you do that for me? And they'll almost always say yes. I'm a firm believer in don't ask, don't get. So make sure you ask, because people will say yes most of the time. And then go back and create an update for LinkedIn Publisher. And I will proudly say that one of the things I did that I'm happy about, I was at a women's leadership event last week, 2 weeks ago, I guess it is now. And Trisha, one of the folks who's actually now on the meeting with us, was an honored speaker. She was one of the keynotes, and she was just awesome. I felt an amazing connection. I was so inspired. So one of the things I chose to do was to create a blog post just after the event, and I did a recap, and there she goes. Thanks, Pat. You are welcome. Thank you. It was my privilege to be in the audience, and it was really cool to use LinkedIn to be able to make the connection. And then I noticed after the event, I published the update. I reached out to all the speakers and made sure I had their permission to mention them. And then finally, you went on LinkedIn and checked me out, which is what you should do. So you can go on and check the credentials, the background, the recommendations, And you can sort of get a really fast track to knowing if you feel comfortable with someone, if they feel like they're the right kind of people. Do they give the right vibe? Do they have a strong reputation? What are people saying about them? And how, now Trisha just hired me to be a speaker for her association, and part of it was because we came to an understanding that we understood what we want her people in her group to feel like when they are at and when they leave their next event. So the goal will be to make sure we deliver value so that the people there walk out feeling excited, motivated, uplifted. They've got focus on what they need to do next and smart next moves. We talked about all of it, but more importantly, she was able to do her homework before we ever actually had our one-to-one phone call or follow-up call. We were both able to do our background detective work, so it made for some more efficient follow-up. If we didn't like what we see, or you ever are looking around and you get things that make you feel a little icky, or they just don't feel like they resonate, then that's okay too. At least you know you've saved both of yourselves some time and some aggravation. So again, after, if you didn't do it during, make sure you're inviting people to connect. Then book a call or a meeting with your hottest prospects. If you're not entering people right there, one of the things I totally recommend is you need to have a good business card system. So that means you either put a star or a little note on the back of the card. I actually have 3 pockets when I go to a networking event, or I even use the back of a name badge sometimes. But I will use my hot leads, so they'll get a star and a note, perhaps why. Like Trisha's actually, I had met her after her event. I put a star on her card, and she had mentioned about speaking at her organization briefly. So I put a little speaker note so I remembered to follow up quickly about speaking. So whatever code you need to trigger for you, but you want to have your hot leads and make sure there's someplace really, really safe so you don't lose them. Then you're going to have your bigger bucket of your, warm leads or, nice people that you met, but you want to make sure those hot leads are readily identifiable, because no matter what, you need to get to them within the first, let's say, 48 hours, 72 the longest. You need to make sure you're efficient. So the hot leads get marked and put in one spot. The warm leads and everybody else goes in another. And then the third piece is your outgoing. So you've got a nice place for your stuff. And it's funny, I'll give you another ninja hint. I don't really hand out business cards anymore. I hand out bookmarks, because as an author, I had bookmarks created. And I use a bookmark because it's shiny, it's pretty, it's laminated, it's useful, and it's shaped differently. It's shaped bigger than a business card, and it has my calls to action on it. So if I give you the bookmark, the chances are good you may hopefully use it. Okay, so I encourage you now to share testimonials and video back with the organizers, the folks you met or interviewed. Sharing is caring, folks. Please, please, please don't keep it to yourself. Write the recap, take the pictures, post them, blast them, give shout outs to people, recycle those shout outs. And Sophia helps you with my social media management, and she knows all about it. Make sure you're recycling anything that is what we call evergreen. And evergreen means it's information that you can access at any time. So before an event like this today, right now, started off as a live event. So there was a specific time and place. But now the recording will become part of this evergreen LinkedIn Makeover Magic program, and people will be able to access it at any time. So the follow-up connection and promotion will not be time or date specific. It will be on demand. So I can promote it anytime I need to, any way I need to, without a time specific demand. People can, pay their $97 and access it at their convenience and have access for life. So make sure you share back. Sharing is caring. Again, a blog article, it didn't take long. I wanted to make sure, because I think Trisha's had 4 or 5 great speakers, plus I guess with the moderator was 5, and they were cool. So I just made sure that I captured at least one great nugget or highlight at a minimum from each of them. It's not hard to do, but it helped me take away more learning from their event. And it also helped me have a nice way to share their message with our women leaders audience that we share together. And it helped me start to build a relationship with people. So go ahead, take the time and write blog articles. And go ahead and invite them to share it too. So in other words, Trisha's welcome to use the article in her company newsletter or in her organization's newsletter, as are the other folks. Leverage it across social media. Here's a really, really, really important part of it. We do not own LinkedIn or Facebook or anything else. So what I absolutely recommend you do is not forget, you need to export your LinkedIn list, download it to your computer as what they call a .csv file, and take that list and upload it into your own email system. Again, you can tag people with those tags as I showed you, but make sure you periodically download that list and add it into your own email list. Because if these are people who have given you permission to keep in touch with them, then when you put them in your email list, it will have a confirmation. Like I use Aweber, so it's got the opt-in confirmation. They will need to say, yes, I do want to receive information, which is perfectly cool because I don't want to spam people. I don't want to send stuff to people who don't want what I have to say. So I download the information, bring it into our database, our CRM or email system, and then they can start to nurture and get information, whether it be our weekly nurture email, my 50 Rocks Life Lessons for Success blog, which is chock full of information and sharing, or inviting them to free events, or when we're in the middle of launching any kind of paid programs, you can do that too. But again, the follow-up is not about spamming people. The follow-up is being thoughtful and relevant and thankful, showing gratitude and keeping in touch. And here is an absolutely critical ninja tip. Please, please, please do not respond with a group message. And I'm going to tell you the one embarrassing thing. They changed our the layout a little bit on the page. So there's email and messages right in LinkedIn. I'm going to show you that. You can see it. See all this? So you can go through. If you want, you can go My Network, Connections, right? So here's all these people that I'm connected with, all these updates. I will go through later on, and I will have to reconnect my account. I just upgraded my email system, so that's why I have that message. But I will go through, and I will indeed follow up with all of these notes that are on here. And then there actually is a filter by all contacts or recently added. And I can actually go ahead and make contact with folks right here on LinkedIn. The other thing that I can do is I can go in a group. So one of my favorite groups, ninja tip here, is, Connect Professional Women's Network. If you are a professional woman or you're looking to connect with professional women, this has 478,000 people in it. Crazy, crazy number. You can't tell me that this is not an awesome place to fish where the fish are. So I can turn around and write a blog post here or a question. I do a lot in asking questions. This is not for verbal vomit, salesy stuff. This is much better when you're looking to engage and have people by asking questions. You can also then post and link to your article. Who are we? So I did notice that this has a lot more stuff in it. It used to be much more vetted, and right now you can pretty much just post and the stuff will go automatically in. But you can turn around and let's just see. Know thy storage, know thy data. Which do I prefer? So I can turn around and comment and say, I like digital marketing. It's a bigger picture than just data, right? So I'm putting a comment on here. So when people are on here, look, I can go in and highlight. This is really, really important, guys. When I'm in a group, I can go in and I can hover over someone's name and I can send a message. So instead of going outbound through search, I can go here and I can send a message directly to someone if I wanted to, which is a really, really important thing. And or I can message them back here through the messages this way. So I do a lot of following up back and forth with people. So here's Patty's, for example. We're going to go back for a second. So now I can send her a message directly here. I want to make sure that I have their email outside of LinkedIn, but I will use this to go ahead and schedule coffees. I'll congratulate someone on progress. So I promised her we'd do a couple of things. So some of what you may want to do is, instead of having a title with the name of your company, you very much may want to say something like hospitality and catering solutions, or catering, the best staffing solutions for the hospitality industry, because then it'll have staffing, hospitality, solutions, best. There's keyword searching even in the title here. You do not have to put your exact real job title if you don't want to. So you can use that to be more attractive in your business. The summary, I'll be honest, I recommend to people that the summary reflect more of who you are and your spirit. Now, I like the way she says my expertise in meeting budgets, but I'm going to tell you something. Patty is the queen of connecting. She is a resource person. She's happy to give time, and she will help anybody with anything. So even if it's not necessarily something that's going to help her have a job right now, it's absolutely, if you know someone who's in food service or who runs large staff and needs temporary help, she helps solve problems all over the place. So what I'm going to like to have her do is to go through, we're going to do a makeover on her profile where we're going to actually take her through. She has keywords here, which is great, but her about me is down here. And I'm going to suggest for any of you that we kind of flip that around, because this is about when people, if they take a quick first glance, I don't necessarily want the summary to be about your company. I want the summary to be about why you rock, because each of us is special and each of us shines in our business, but we're all in competitive business. I don't know anybody that's not competitive. So you can have your business or your position here in your experience, and that's where it's more tied to a job, so to speak. But I strongly recommend that we use the summary to tell the story about why we're special, why people are going to want to do business with us, and then use these recommendations very, very clearly. I'm going to show you my profile just for a quick second. Here's my profile, right? So here's the blogging. This is the article that I used following up to the event where I met Trisha. So I had a shot of people in the room. This was actually someone else's photo, so I got permission to use it from the organization. 50 Rocks, which is my theme for my blog, Confident Women at the Wheel Drive Business Success. So I came in, and new chapter of this, Nothing Inspires Me More, and we started to talk about it. And I put links to all of the people who were speakers here. So here's what the moderator Mandeep said. Here's some call-out quotes. Sunita was from Realogy, high-level ranking person there. And again, she had a different perspective about 50-50 and balance, which is cool. It doesn't all have to agree. It just needs to be what's special. Here's Trisha's, and this is where I picked up on what was very much resonating. She basically didn't wait for someone to hand her the crown. She put the crown on her own head. She said, don't get stuck worrying about status or titles. Follow your heart, pursue your passion, do your best, and the money will come. I thought that was really cool and really special. And each of the speakers had a couple of really interesting nuggets. So we highlighted all of them, but now we can take this vlog and not only leverage it here, but leverage it throughout my social media, my website, things like that. On my title, I don't put president, CEO, business boomers. I have business success strategist because those are searchable keywords. And my profile strength says all-star. And again, in the $97 LinkedIn profile program, you're going to be able to go back, watch our entire program about how to update your profile, and also make sure you get to all-star status. But my point is, when you're going to an event, you can go in and search by the event title up here and find all the people going to the event, or the speakers at the event, or the sponsors at the event. But they're going to come back and look at your profile. They're going to come back and look. So you want to make sure it tells the story the way you want it to. So here, I make sure people know what I am. I'm an expert presenter, connector, networker, and rainmaker, etc. Here's what you can expect. Here's a couple of ways you can hire me in some of my fun workshops. There's always a call to action, and there's absolutely key words. The other thing is you can upload media, so make sure you put some pieces that put your best foot forward. So if you're looking to connect with some folks and you've just won an award or a certification, like the governor's proclamation, you upload that so it's there when people are checking you out. So then this is a little bit more toward your specific career job, your position. And here, for example, right now, just in this one section alone, I've got 20 recommendations. And guess what? Sean Kelly runs the #1 LinkedIn golf program in the world. I met him here on LinkedIn. It's unbelievable how you can actually develop real relationships. So the goal is to go before, during, and after your next event. Make sure you connect with people. Make sure you have a plan in place. Make sure you put the time in to do the follow-up. Make sure you categorize people so you don't lose track. Export them into your system and actually follow up. Kay Fernandez, she's a high-ranking VP at Konica Minolta. She was one of the people who was in one of my big keynote speeches a couple of years ago, or I guess last year, excuse me. And again, so I met Trisha at her event. She went back, looked me up, and she was able to see all these recommendations. I think it gives you more of a comfort. Here's a little ninja tip, guys. You see right here, it says notify your network, and there's a button, yes or no. If you're going to be doing a lot of renovations on your site based on what I'm telling you, turn it off. Make the last renovation something important, like your title or position, and then turn it back on. Then make the last change so that your audience gets notified. You don't want people getting notified about every single little detail, every change you make. That's not cool. You definitely want them to only see your most important change. I'm going to come off the PowerPoint and put you live, and we'll talk a little bit live. But if you have questions, LinkedIn strategy, we have a very special offer for everybody on the call where you can get a one-to-one LinkedIn strategy session with me, and we will go through your profile, and I will actually give you a half-hour walkthrough to teach you what to do and how to change and what you need to do to rock your next event or rock your profile. It's usually $497. It's now $297, and there is the link for that. So if that is something you're interested in, please take advantage. And the other is, if you want a half hour to rock your career, we do have an amazing group mastermind. Some of the people on the call are in the mastermind, and I encourage you to join us. You can talk to me. We'll see if it's a good fit or what your next best moves are, but it's rockonsuccess.com/discover. That's rockonsuccess.com/discover. And we're going to stop the screen share. Let's see, who would like to come on and join us on the room? I'm happy to screen share with you guys. You can actually raise your hand and come on live. So we're going to block that. We're going to stop sharing. I am back, and I would love to have you. If you would like, I can add you on. Hit the button and I can actually put you on the stage. So if you have a question or a comment or maybe you've done something here really well, or maybe you've learned something. Please let me know. You can either chime in on the chat, which is on the right, type it in, or I would love to have you pop in and say hi on the screen, tell us who you are, what you do, and who would be a good referral, because guess what? A lot of the people here can help each other, and I'm more than happy to be able to help you shine your light in your best way and make some great connections. So if anybody has a question or would like to share or come on the screen, now would be a great time to do that. Let's see. Have you guys been using LinkedIn for your events? Tell me that. Have you been using LinkedIn, or will you plan to use them more going forward? What was the one hint that was the most helpful for you today? Oh, let's see. I got a comment in my private line that says the grading of business cards and having multiple pockets is definitely a ninja tip. You absolutely want to make sure you've got people. So you get the hot ones to follow up first and the other ones after. And oh, let me see. There is another comment that says the Facebook Live combo in connection with events. Again, whether you're the host or whether you're an attendee, it's a great way to capture the moment, to be able to go back and review, and to learn a whole heck of a lot that way, and to make a great follow-up, because people would love to talk to you if you've been able to then share photos or comments or follow-up. Oh, see, so Justin said he's used it for connections after in the past. So that one we knew, but this is about really getting better at doing your homework. So, you know, homework is not the word everybody wants, but if you really plan or prepare, you are going to find that literally you will make so many more appointments. What I want to commit to you is, if you follow my steps, never again will you just show up at a networking event and go, yeah, this was great. I like the talk. I like the people. And then you walk out the door. I never want you to get in the car after an event or on the bus or on the train or hang up from a webinar and feel like you didn't get your money's worth or it was a waste of time. So by doing your homework in advance and planning your success path, knowing who's going to be on, making some pre-event connection, meeting people live, go find them. Especially, think about this. Have you ever gone to an event or a conference and you don't know anybody, or you know one person and you're in a room with 500 people? It's really nice to have a friendly face that you actually are going to look for someone or plan to meet someone at the entrance, you know, next to the ladies' room or whatever it is. But it takes away the stigma if you're ever going to larger events. You don't have to feel like you're completely alone. Sometimes just having one friendly face, one nice person in advance, it could be the host. When I go to events, I always meet the host and the organizer, and I always reach out in advance. And I always ask the organizer, I tell them what my mission is and why I'm coming, and I ask the organizer who would be an ideal 1 or 2 people that I should meet while I'm there. And might you please be willing to introduce them to me, or do an e-introduction so I can reach out before the event. That is another ninja tip. Reach out, ask for who the organizer feels would be a great connection for you, because part of it is you're guessing, or it's common sense and you know, but the other part of it is ask people who you should be seeing, because they're going to get to know you and it's going to spark something. So again, it's all about making connections and doing your homework before, during, and after. If this was helpful, and I hope it was, again, we'd love to have you join us. We have for just $97, this is my shameless plug part, but bear with me. So for only $97, which is nothing, you can have access to the LinkedIn Profile Makeover Magic, which is a 3-part course. It includes the LinkedIn Profile Makeover, which is a 1-hour webinar, which comes complete with a checklist and cheat sheet. There is a 1-hour Rock the Room, the Art of Ninja Networking training video that we filmed during a recent Chamber of Commerce workshop. So I'm going to show you some of this networking in action. And then the third part is you'll have the replay from today and the Rock Your Event Connections with LinkedIn checklist. I'll also be putting in some bonus templates. So I'm going to put some cheat sheets. I want you to make sure if you have your information done in advance. So a self-introduction, you know, hi, I'm Pat, blah, blah, blah. Can we meet? Let's connect in person. The warm intro, a little nugget that says, Sophia, I'm really interested in meeting Mary. Can you help me with an introduction? So ask someone for that warm introduction. The other would be a follow-up, great to meet you. You said this, blank, 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 or I thought you'd appreciate, you know, you talked about bananas. Here's a follow-up banana recipe. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it is. It matters that it's important to them. Next is a recap, a resource, or other kinds of non-salesy nuggets. Non-salesy nuggets. 10-4-1, right? Every 10 outreaches, you want to make sure you have at least 8 of them that are completely non-salesy. You're going to have maybe 4 that are a little warmer and closer to what you're actually doing with business, and you're going to have 1 that's an ask. That's an actual direct ask. And then invite to a free event, share helpful tools, or maybe introduce people to other people that they deserve to know. And then finally, invite them to a live or a virtual coffee to brainstorm collaboration. People don't necessarily want to go to meetings or live coffees as much as they used to. So why not a virtual coffee like a Skype or a Zoom? And sometimes I'll even send a Starbucks gift card and they can go get a Starbucks and have virtual coffee with me. So hopefully that's all helpful. Again, you can apply for your free Rock Your Career Breakthrough Discovery session. That is at rockonsuccess.com/discover. And I very much thank all of you for joining us today. I hope that this was very helpful and useful. And again, you can go to the the Starbucks, yeah, $5 gift card. It's easy peasy. It's not a defensive amount of money. People never feel like you're bribing them because it's literally $5, but it's a cute little gesture so that they could go grab their latte and sit with you. I'm glad you thought it was informational. If you like this, please do me a favor. Make sure we're connected on LinkedIn if we're not. And you can write a recommendation if you're willing, because this way people understand how they might benefit and how we might help them rock their business and their life. So again, this is Pat Roque, helping you grow faster than ever, having more fun than ever, finding your ideal clients so you can stop chasing and start attracting. Rock your day, folks. Have a great one. God bless. And stay tuned for Teach Me Thursday. Every week we're here doing something cool. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.